Check this out, everybody. Not what we're working on really today, but here's all the stuff that we are working on. If you saw the last video, we're doing polos, windbreakers. This is that stuff. We got the brown hats. We got these polos from Jerseys, the brand. They're 50% cotton, 50% polyester. They feel really nice. And the Champion windbreakers right here. The main big challenge. I'm just tweaking the design a little bit, getting that perfected, but that's for later. What we got today is this. If you've been watching the channel for a minute, every once in a while we get a request from Tani's dad if we could do a hat for him. He usually sends us a picture of an image that's not related to hats or embroidery at all. Last time we did something for him, it was a picture of a wallet. We turned it into a hat, looked great, so hopefully we can do the same for this one. The image itself is pretty simple, straightforward. It's just a flat image. So to spice it up, we're gonna do half of it 3D puff and the other outline half of it just regular flat embroidery. We'll digitize this beginning to end in just a moment. I'll show you guys all of that, and we'll be embroidering in one of our trusted Decky 5-panel trucker hat. It usually is a style that he likes, so we stick with this one. I don't know if we're gonna be doing black. We'll see if maybe we switch it up to another color. But either way, so yeah, half 3D puff, half flat. Let's jump into this. Here's the image we're working with. I believe this is 2.5, so that would probably be the correct size. If not, maybe make it a little bit bigger once I remove the actual image. I do have something that I was practicing on over here, but we are gonna start it from the beginning. I just didn't want to be fumbling around because there are some parts here that could get a little bit tricky. So I want to make sure we get this right and smooth for the video. We'll start out with the easy part, the flat satins over here. We are going to be working bottom up, so we'll start it off right here and we'll work our way up. Scratch that. First thing we are going to do is this part, just so it sits on the bottom of the satins. I think that'll look a little bit cleaner. Let's just go ahead and get our stuff fixed up. This is a tatami fill. There we go. Back to digitize closed shape. Make sure we're gonna stay in red and satins. And here we're just drawing out the satin. This little satin border. I am using Hatch 2, by the way, Hatch 2 embroidery software. You could add stitch angles like this so that it comes out real smooth. What I like to do is start it on one end, and if it is something like this where everything's kind of like touching, then I'll end it here. You go to stitching and then put automatic trim off. That way it won't make a trim, it'll just jump into this next part of the design. And I'm not going to be really careful trying to follow the line. This is a print. When it comes to print, it's a little bit different. Obviously there are more details that could be seen. When it comes to embroidery, at least for this design, you don't have to be crazy picky with it. But we'll just put this, let's end it off over here, just like that. Put that at the end here. Same thing, off. Also, if you know that you're going to be doing that non-stop, that is something that you could already have it fixed up the way that I chose red and the way that I chose satin. You could have it so it you don't have to be clicking off, turning off the automatic trim. For now, I'm just going to keep it like that because I like to make my life a little bit more difficult. And let's continue. Select angles. I think this one here, we'll keep this a tatami fill. I'll come right back to it. Actually, I'm not going to change that to tatami. I'll leave it the way it is there. Wrong button. Stitch angles, okay. Let's jump right up here. What? Go back to fill, satin, reshape, stitching, off. Right up here. Select. Like I said, I like to make my life harder, but there are shortcuts on the keyboard, so instead of having to come to select over here, I can hold O. H just gives you the general properties of, you know, the stitch angle, but I have to come over here, so I could do this angle here, like that. We'll take the jump stitch off here. We'll continue. The other way that you could be doing this, which works best if they're all like even satins, so just open shape. Right now it's in single run, but I would change it to satin, and then here you could choose the width of it. Another way that you could do it is by using digitized blocks over here, and you're drawing out at the same time as you're controlling the angle. So if you're going like this, that already has that angle you were drawing out in the beginning. That's not bad. I actually keep that. We'll go there, here, off. And I'm being delete that just. And that's pretty much it for this part. I wasn't too careful. I hope everything still comes out good. No reason it shouldn't. I'm more worried about the 3D puff, and I'm pretty sure you're more interested in that part as well, so I just kind of want to get there. But here we have to think about how we're going to be splitting this up, because we can't just draw out the entire shape and it'll work out. That'll be way too wide of a satin. As it is, it's still going to have some very wide parts, but splitting it into sections will make them a little bit more narrow, and also give the face a little bit more structure, make it look a little bit more interesting. So let's start off at the bottom here. What I'll be doing is I'll also be changing the underlay afterwards. You pretty much remove all underlay except for the center run. If it doesn't give you the option for a center run, then you could just draw it out using digitize open shape, and that's just to hold down the foam before doing the satin stitches over it. But we'll take care of that at the end. Kind of the only bad part of this design is this area here and these little skinny areas. Sometimes the satin is too small and it just embroiders it like flat. No puff stays in there, so it looks a little messy. We'll see how it goes. But we'll start it there, end it here. Let's go ahead and keep digitizing this way here. We'll just do this entire part down here like this, up to right there. All right. We'll take off that auto split. See, that's super wide. If you're doing regular stitching, you would want to keep that auto split because that's crazy wide. But for the puff, it's gotta go. Okay, now that we have that, let's work on the stitch angles. Let me see. Let me okay that, because then you can't always just put in a bunch of crazy angles. It won't let you. That looks pretty good. Not bad. So here, I think we're gonna have an issue. See, right here, it's open pretty much. I would want an angle here. I don't think it's gonna let me. Oh, there you go. That way we don't have any puff coming out. Right here, I think we have good enough corner, so nothing comes out of there. It's pretty narrow here. We should be okay. We're good here. We're good here. I hope it's making sense. We pretty much just want every corner closed off with thread so it could hold the foam in and it doesn't stick out. Even if it sticks out a little bit, we could poke it in. We hit it with the heat gun, the lighter, and it fixes that right up. But we want to make sure everything flows the way it's supposed to. Let's fix this, start it off there and end it over here. Let's change that to white. No, we'll do this color. Okay, let's see this real quick. I will be removing the underlay as I mentioned, so don't worry about that. Let's keep going. Wait, here we're gonna split it off to right here. That's also a really wide satin. I think we can handle it though. Put this at the beginning and at the end. This, I don't know if it's recommended to take off the automatic trim when doing puff. I'm gonna keep it on and just keep on going. It might still not do the trim. That's up to the machine to decide, not me. And Hatch. Let's get a little bit over like that. Crazy wide angle. Satin, sorry. Here we go. Not bad. Okay, we gotta end here. It's blocked off on this angle. Following along. Start it there. End it here. Okay. Okay. And the last part right here. Let's go ahead and do it like that. Okay, remove auto split. Right here. Can we get an angle? Okay, we'll stick with this. We'll see how right here the stitching is getting a little far apart. We'll try it out though. Alright, so let's remove the back of it. And this is how we're looking. Actually, I just noticed right here is a little bit too open. We would definitely have an issue there. So let's do this. Like I mentioned, we're gonna take off the underlay except for a center run, and then the fill right here, I'm in inches. I go from 0.014 to 0.007. Click enter. We go down to metric. We're looking at 0.18 millimeters for the fill density. Maybe put that to the end there. And I think that might be it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this is gonna come out the cleanest. I rarely do this type of stuff. Usually the designs that I'm working with are a little bit more straightforward. I never really split the designs this much. Last time I did it, it was for the horse hat we did not too long ago. I'll link that right up there. That came out pretty clean, so hopefully this comes out clean as well. I'm gonna load it up to the USB. We'll do a flat for sure, and we'll take it from there. Let me see, make sure we are at 2.5 in inches. We're at 2.3, 2.5. Zero that out. We go to design settings, auto start and end. Let's put it at the bottom, just like this. So this will be the brim, the start of the brim of the hat. Our lowest point, stitching upwards. I don't know why these, I don't know if I moved them or they changed. Yeah, they definitely changed. I think when I start messing with them, they automatically change their start and stops. So that's it. Let's load it up, get it onto the machine. Here's our little guy again, our latest addition to the Mighty Hoop family. Actually really glad that I kept it. It's coming in real handy, especially for these test stitch outs. If you're getting yourself some Mighty Hoops, use my link in the description for free shipping. Code TKStitch25 at checkout. Hopefully this glare is not too horrible, but pretty much what we do here, we have a design. We're gonna do the right side first. That's one, that's where I have the red. And I'm also pressing this OF button here, which is gonna stop the machine before going on to the next color. That'll give me a chance to put the puff, which will be, for now, 3 white. Okay, let's get it. we go. A couple things. I actually did not clip the mighty hoop all the way, so that's a little scary. Luckily it didn't pop off, as we got this crazy runaway stitch right there. Other thing, looks good though. But the other thing, I forgot I was even talking about it, was this one, this little line here, was supposed to be puff as well. When I was talking about sometimes when they're too small, they get flattened out, there's no puff, all that. But I actually like it like this. I'm gonna keep it like that and avoid that issue altogether. But we are looking pretty good. Gotta be careful. These things are like scissors, crazy pointy. See right here, we lost a little bit of. See right here, we lost a little bit of detail. That point was just too small, too sharp. But overall, I think it looks good. What I am gonna do, I learned this the last time I did that other deer hat I was talking about. It may look good on the stitch out and on a flat, but when you get it onto the hat, what ends up happening is these really thin stitches over here, they look even smaller on the hat, and it looks a little bit off. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna go into these here, and then I'm gonna be coming over here, stitching, and adding the pull compensation. I don't know, something to like 15. When I click enter, it gets a little bit wider. So I'm gonna do that to everything just so it has more presence when it's on the hat. Besides that, that's all I'm doing on the digitizing part of it. We're gonna go ahead and hoop it and get it going. I am gonna use a tearaway sheet, 2.5 ounce, I believe, just because it's a 6-panel hat, doesn't have that middle seam. So, you know, I don't think it hurts. I think it'll be just fine. We're good here. Let's take it over to the machine. The setup is the same here. We're gonna be doing, it was the same colors actually, so red and then the puff in white. So it looks like we're right in the middle here. Let's go low. Actually, let me fold the brim a little bit. That way I could go low without this part of the machine rubbing up too much against that. Lowered it just a bit more. And let's run it. We're looking good so far. Let's forward a little bit to see where we're gonna start with the 3D puff. It's just right here. Let's lay down on there and get her done. Okay, it's looking good. We'll hit it with the heat gun in just a moment. Let's pop this off. Clean tear. Okay, good sign. Go ahead and remove these in-betweens. This corner here, I did not have much hope for it. It's a goner. It's just flat little spike there. Everything else though, pretty good. Just have these two threads right here and down here. I don't have any loose threads, but I still like to hit it with the lighter just to be sure. Just like that. Only real issue I got, because I think it got a little bit too low, so it had an issue here with the underlay. If I wanted to keep it the same, I would just remove the underlay and I would avoid that little mess right here. That's the only thing really. I couldn't finish the video yesterday, so it is now the next day, but we got the hat here all cleaned up. Here it is in all of its glory. I think it's too much to this side. What the? I think the positioning is a bit off. Looks a little bit more like it's on this side over here, but nonetheless, what do you guys think about today's hat? Not too shabby, eh? Here's a little close-up. But that is it for this one. I hope you guys did enjoy today's project. Little 3D puff action. Thank you for being here today. Any likes or subs, very much appreciated. That's it for me. Deuces.